Hi, Dr. Ben Grams here. Many people think that chiropractic is just about pain relief, but what I want to show you today is how the relief you get from chiropractic is truly just the tip of the iceberg. So stick around and find out more. So let me start by asking you this question. What is your greatest asset? I used to give a fair amount of talks when I was starting my practice, and when I would ask that question, invariably someone would raise their hand and eventually say health. Health is my greatest asset. And that's absolutely true. Health is your greatest asset, and we can't let anyone or anything tell us otherwise. Your greatest asset is not your retirement account. It's not your house. It's not your savings account. It's not your car. Health is your greatest asset. And it's been said that a person who has their health has 1,000 dreams. A person who is sick only has one. And so we have to wake up every day knowing that we're doing the right things to protect and invest into our greatest asset, which is your health. But before we can talk about what health is, I need to ask you another question. How do you know if you're healthy? Most people, their gut reaction is how I feel. And that's a problem. And this is the problem with it, is that really what that means is that you don't think about your health unless you feel bad. Now, let me give you an example of why this is actually hurting us and not helping us. Like the entire industrialized world, heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans. You cannot feel your arteries clog with plaque until that plaque detaches and it causes a heart attack or stroke. Okay, so think of the problem. You felt fine, and then the plaque detached, and now you feel bad. It's too late. You think of cancers. It's well known that you don't become symptomatic with cancers until their final stages, which means they've had a long time to develop and you didn't feel it. Think of diabetes, which is the 3rd leading cause of death in the United States. You cannot feel your insulin receptors become desensitized because of uncontrolled blood sugars. You only feel the damage that those sugars inflict on your body, like your nerves, your eyes, your kidneys, all of that. And so we have to wake up every day knowing that we're doing the right things to preserve our health and not just wait until we feel bad to do something about it. So, what is health? If you were to open up a medical dictionary, essentially what you'd read is that health is the state of optimal function in your body, which means when your body's functioning optimally, you are healthy. So, what system in your body controls the function of all other systems in your body? Any guesses? Your nervous system. It's the master controller. It's been said that your nervous system is the apex of creation in the known universe. Why? What's the fundamental basis behind that? There is nothing more complex or organized than the nervous system that you were given from birth. The world's best computers right now, at least, can't even touch the complexity of your nervous system. Your brain receives something like over 1 billion inputs per second from your body. It's processing that in real time and then coordinating the function of the trillions of cells that make up who you are, your body, your mind, all of that. And that's all done by your nervous system. And to understand how the nervous system impacts health, we're going to rewind and think about how a nervous system develops in a baby, in the womb. When we start out as a tube of nervous tissue. Really the precursor to what we know nervous tissue to be, but point being is that we start out as a nervous system, basically your spinal cord. And then from that, we grow things, like we grow the brain. Nerves detach, and as those nerves detach, they form your heart. It extends, and these form your lungs. Over here, we'll have kidneys. Over here, we have your intestines. See, every system, every organ, every tissue in your body is controlled by your nervous system. And now this is where chiropractic comes in that pain relief is really just the tip of the iceberg, and this is why. If you ask anyone, any lay person, and you ask them, what's the purpose of your spine? They'll probably say structure, posture, support. And those things are true, but that's not the real reason you have a spine. Your spine is a bony encasement of your spinal cord. It protects your spinal cord. And so your brain sits up here, your spinal cord sits inside your spine, then it sends nerves out through these holes to every cell, every organ, every tissue in your body has a nerve connection, and every nerve starts at your spine. Now, when bones get shifted out of place, it causes problems with your muscles and cartilage, like it breaks them down faster. And as they break down, eventually they'll get injured or damaged, and that causes pain. That's the vast majority of people that come see a chiropractor is because they're in pain. But even, I would argue, more important than that, maybe not as urgent, but more important, is that when you have misalignments in your spine, it interferes with the proper communication of that nerve and whatever's on the end of that nerve to your brain. And so your brain then cannot coordinate whatever's on the end of that nerve properly, puts you in a state of dysfunction. Dysfunction turns to dis-ease. Dis-ease leads to symptoms. Now, as a patient here, with your initial paperwork, you were given something that looks like this. And really what it shows are all the different levels of your spine and the different nerves that come out of it and the things that those nerves control. If you haven't sat down and looked at this yet, I encourage you to do so. I have found that people who finally get the impact of the spine has on health, this is a light bulb moment for them. But in rewinding, think of it like this. Your misalignments of your spine interfere with your nerves, okay? If you keep your spine healthy, you'll reduce the amount of nerve interference, which helps your nervous system function better. And if your nervous system's functioning better, it's gonna stack the deck in your favor to function optimally, which means your health, your greatest asset, is being actively preserved, and chiropractic plays a big role in that. Now, to be clear, it's not the only thing you should be doing. There's a whole slew of things that you need to be doing to preserve your health. But one of the most under-leveraged components to being healthy is chiropractic. And so I hope you got some value from this video. If you have any questions at your next appointment, feel free to bring it up to me.